Exclusive.
Matt, you saw 50 Shades of Grey this week, and I'm really excited to talk about it, but considering that you saw it, I want to see how qualified you are to talk about some of the things in this movie, so I'm going to give you a quiz I like to call 50 Shades of Pais.
We're really jumping right in here, aren't we?
Matt, I'm going to read you a list of paraphilias. They are philias, inctuses, and ophagies.
Did you say inctuses?
Yeah, all right?
Use inctuses
I'm going,
please.
just hold on.
Okay,
I'm going to read you these terms, and you're going to tell me what you think they are, starting with coprophilia. C-O-P-R-O-P-H-I-L-I-A.
No idea.
Poop stuff. Emetophilia.
I'm sorry. Mick.
Vomit. Remember 2 girls, 1 cup? That's what it is. Fornophilia. Take a guess.
Did you Google all this at work?
Take a guess.
Fornophilia?
Fornophilia.
Sex in the forest.
Turning a human being into a piece of furniture. Autoplushophilia.
Furries type situation.
Ding, ding, ding. Mashala lignia.
Something with machetes.
Armpits. Ocula linctus. You should get
Eyes.
this one.
Eyes.
Yeah, actually, specifically licking the eyeballs. Pretty normal. Everybody does that stuff in bed. Pygnophilia. It's butts, not butt stuff, but butts. Toxophilia.
Sex by the dump.
No, archery. Right?
What?
That's what I said too.
What do you mean?
It just says archery. Anthropophagy, not anthropology, the hipster store anthropophagy.
Go.
Ingesting human flesh. And finally, antagonistophilia. Antagonistophilia.
Sex with your car.
Being on stage or camera, that one kind of reminded me of you, Matt. You know? You do that thing on the...
What are you picturing me doing?
No, you're on, you go on NBC across the way and you're on camera, maybe you get a little excited about it sometimes,
Thanks.
This has been 50 Shades of Pais.
What the fuck was that?
Let's talk about this fucking
Well,
movie.
we learned why the movie's not about me. The fact that this started as Twilight fan fiction is... Can we look at Twilight for a second and just remind the difference between Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey? Let's count on one hand the number of ass-smacking scenes in Twilight. See, the problem is that with this episode, we're going to be tempted to make a lot of comments about certain things. Holding up our fists made me want to... I've seen the movie, but I'm going to leave it right
there. We all heard it. 20 minutes worth of pure sex scenes in this movie. How bad does it get?
I think a lot of people were wishing this movie was either surprisingly erotic or unintentionally hilarious.
Why am I here, Christian?
You're here because I'm incapable of leaving you alone.
Or maybe a little like hot Valentine's Day release, see it as a date.
I get the feeling that there's a third group of people that wanted this movie to be straight hardcore pornography.
Or that too, yeah. And it's not any of these things.
Oh.
I didn't read the book. I didn't know this movie is really just like Christian and Anastasia meet. She finds out that, as he says, I enjoy various physical pursuits, because for a while he talks only in innuendos. Eventually says like, you know what, I don't do the relationship thing.
I don't do romance.
But I'll tie you up. She's like, I don't know. Well, will you sign a contract? I don't know. Like, half of the movie is them debating whether or not she's going to sign the contract for him to be the dominant and her to be the submissive.
Well, do they have any sort of relationships before the contract is signed, or is this strictly like, we're not dorking until the I's and the T's are finished?
They do have like normal, I don't want to say normal, non-tied up, non-S&M type sex before that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not judging anyone. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
You
that's
want.
fine.
You know what? This is not the first movie to have sex scenes. There's really nothing that unique about it. And these characters are not good. Jamie Dornan is terrible in this role. It's a stupid character. He sounds like he's what I said was a European sociopath trying to pass as American and failing. That doesn't make you feel the chemistry between them. You're like, you are weird, and why is she going for that? You are a stalker. This is kind of a problem.
Do you want anything else?
Yes. Rope.
The fact that this is called 50 Shades of Grey, that's like, why would you call this movie 50 Shades of Grey? There's so many like more interesting titles you could come up with. It's like you had to have the same title pattern as like Heart of Dixie,
So what
I
are
know his name is Gray, but you know what? You know what it made me think of? Remember on Arrested Development when Job is pitching the community that's all about sex?
Yes, yes, I do
Remember what he called it?
So, Michael, listen, I'm here to convince you to hire me back. I'm an ideas man, Michael. I think I proved that with Mountain.
So what you're saying is that some of the 50 actual Shades of Grey might actually be sexier than this movie.
That is possible, yeah.
Okay.
I think Gwen knows something about this.
Gwen, do we got...
You guys are right for once. It would be sexier to list off 50 actual Shades of Grey. Good thing I actually have a list. Smoke embers, heather, gray, stone, pew, charcoal, Coventry gray, harbor gray, thunder, steel, steel wool, wrought Swiss almond, cashmere, bone, ball, obviously shimmer, chimes, orange, ice, that's a good one. Sludge. Not gonna be painting my walls with that one.
Let's just go over some lines of dialogue from this movie. If you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week.
You wouldn't be able to sit down for a week. Okay, so that's the butt stuff part.
Okay, she does say, what are butt plugs?
Okay, well, good question.
I mean, he opens condoms with his teeth, of course.
Okay, cool trick.
Anyway, he has pencils with his name on them, and because Anastasia loves like biting her lip and doing things with her lip, she has his pencil with his name on it, kind of resting on her mouth. You can kind of picture the symbolism there.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes chewing on erasers. That was one of the fetishes I didn't read. So you really don't know what he does the whole movie?
No.
Like, what if the whole trick is that he actually manufactures all the products that he uses in his, you know, maybe he...
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
This is a trilogy. There are 2 more movies maybe coming out.
What do? I'm a billionaire. How do you make your billions? I manufacture genital clamps.
Oh my God.
Are we going to make love now? His response?
I'm gonna do you three times upside down in the sink.
No.
Okay.
But that was good. He says, I don't make love. I fuck hard.
Awesome! God, what a romantic. This movie's great.
I would like to fuck you into the middle of next week.
He's really into measuring his sexual prowess by weeks, isn't he? He's like, you're not going to be able to sit down for a week.
But she leaves town and then gets a text saying, another Cosmo? And then she's like, Christian is here.
Seems kind of creepy.
It's really creepy.
A little creepy. A little actromophilia-esque.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, actually, that's people with amputations. That's wrong. Sorry.
Wait, you guys wanted to hear more? All right. I've got which doesn't really sound like gray to me, but okay. Wolf, sable, chinchilla, birch, storm, gravel. Hello. I actually don't find 50 Shades of Grey sexy at all. What I do find sexier is this hot book. His attention was no longer on the old flaw. It had stayed, along with his hands, to the generous curves of her breasts. Her breath froze in her chest as she waited for the incredible... No more, Gemini, he groaned. Not unless you want me to totally lose control. He reached down and pulled her effortlessly to her feet. His face contorted almost painfully at the effort it had taken to stop those caressing. She removed a dab of the chili off his wooden spoon. Because it was so hot, she immediately stuck her finger in her mouth. It wasn't the heat of the chili that burned her tongue.